Greetings, dear friends, wherever you are in the world. From a faraway village nestled between rolling hills and whispering fields, I bring you something truly incredible. Today, not only are we going to prepare the ingredients with care and intention, but we're going to craft the entire dish together. The journey of flavors begins right here, right now. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. It's a small click for you, but a big help for us. Let's roll up our sleeves and get right to it. Time to milk the cow, because the ingredient we're whipping up today is cheese. Not just any cheese, but a golden homemade delight, like capturing the morning sun and folding it into silk. Milking is not just a task. It is a quiet ritual, a conversation between you and the animal. You need patience, a gentle hand, and above all, respect. The cow must feel safe, calm, and unhurried. The first few streams are released to cleanse the passage. Then comes the flow, slow and steady, like pouring morning light into a pail. Now that we've got our fresh milk, it's time to turn it into something truly special. First, we pour it into a pot and slowly bring it to a boil. Not a roaring boil, just enough heat to coax the richness out. Think of it like waking the milk up gently from its slumber. Once it's warm and ready, we add a fermented agent, a bit of starter, a spark, like planting a seed and waiting for it to bloom. Once the ferment does its quiet work, we cover the pot with a towel, just like tucking it in for a nap. We let it sit in stillness while the culture slowly weaves its way through the milk. Meanwhile, while the milk rests and does its quiet work, we move on to the rest of our ingredients. First, we wake up the yeast, a bit of warm water, a little stir, and we set it aside. Then we start mixing the rest. This is where the dough for our khachapuri begins to take shape, soft and promising, like a pillow waiting to rise. Now comes the heart of it, the dough. We add flour, a pinch of salt, an egg for richness, and a splash of olive oil. Bit by bit we bring it all together, letting our hands do the thinking. My grandmother used to say, khachapuri dough must be as soft and gentle as the cheese that fills it. And she was right. It should feel like silk under your fingers. The milk has thickened beautifully, which means the fermented agent has done its job. Now it is time to cut it. We do this to separate the curds from the whey, helping the cheese firm up and release its moisture. Now that the curds have been cut, it is time to separate them from the whey. My wife's using a piece of clean gauze and gently gathers the curds. The whey begins to drain, slow and steady, leaving behind the soft body of the cheese. This step is important because the more whey you remove, the firmer your cheese will be. There's a quiet kind of joy in making cheese at home. No machines humming, no timers beeping. Just you, the milk, and time doing its work. The steps aren't complicated, but they do ask for something in return. Patience, attention, care. I've always had a soft spot for goats, especially when they're still kids, full of energy, clumsy on their little legs, always chasing shadows and chewing on anything they can reach. I like playing with them whenever I get the chance. While I'm playing around with goats, my wife is in the middle of hard work. No judging looks, I'll join here in a minute. The cheese has firmed up and now we must cover it with a good amount of salt. Salt does more than season. It draws out the last bits of moisture, helps the cheese keep longer, and deepens the flavour, giving it that gentle tang that lingers on the tongue. Look at this dough, bubbling away alive with yeast. I've always liked the smell of it. There's something raw and honest in it, like the beginning of something good. The cooking history of the Caucasus is so rich and layered that if I started telling you everything, we wouldn't finish by the end of this episode. Centuries of tradition, trade, migration, and storytelling, all folded into dough, stirred into stews, passed down through the smoke of village ovens. But still, let's pause for a moment to praise one of its brightest gems. Georgian cuisine. Bold, soulful, generous. It brought the world the famous Ajarian khachapuri, that golden boat of dough cradling melted cheese and a sunset bright egg in the middle. Some say the famous boat shape represents the sea itself, while the egg yolk in the center symbolizes the sun floating above the horizon. Since the Ajarian khachapuri originates from the coastal Ajara region in western Georgia, and traditionally this dish was made to nourish sailors. The crusts are torn off and dipped into the molten mix of cheese, butter, and egg at the center. It's eaten hot with your hands and always with a sense of celebration. This is what I love about food. It tells you where you are, even if you've never been there before. Make sure you smother the crust with a good amount of butter. Let it melt down slowly and soak into the dough. It will enrich the crust with a creamy taste. Since our boat is quite big, we decided to crack in more than one egg. The yolks will settle into that sea of cheese, glowing like little suns. Now let's add a handful of greens, just a touch for colour and freshness. It lifts the whole look like a final brushstroke on a painting. And then back into the oven it goes. One last journey to bring everything together. The crust, the cheese, the eggs, everything bubbling, rising, finishing just right. And by the way, if you'd like to bring a little piece of our Faraway village into your own kitchen, make sure to visit our shop. Just scan the QR code and take a look. Of course, we're going to have tea with this. How could we not? A proper Georgian table is never complete without a pot of strong, fragrant tea. Just look at this gorgeous khachapuri fresh out of the oven. The crust is golden and puffed, still crackling as it cools. The butter has melted into every ridge, giving it that soft, shiny finish. And now comes my favourite part, the moment just before dinner. Everything is ready. The khachapuri is still warm, the tea is poured, and for a second the whole world feels quiet. It's that soft pause before the first bite, when the smells fill the room. For me, this moment always brings a kind of peace. It's not just about eating. It's about sharing, about connection, about knowing that something you made with your own hands is now something you get to enjoy with the people you care about. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you felt the warmth of our kitchen. If you decide to make this dish, share it with someone. Sit down, pour some tea, and enjoy the moment. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, like the video. Until next time.